The art we make and the games that we play let us explore worlds beyond the one that we live in. I've always wanted to create an alien world, something like a jungle planet with lots of wildlife and foliage, something that I can really let my imagination run wild on. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use insulation foam, some battery-operated tea lights, and colored hot glue to create some glowing egg sacs. My builds always begin with a rummage through my hobby room while I think about what I can use and what I want to build. I've been wanting to use these battery-powered tea lights for a while, so we'll start with these. Now I know that I'm building around the tea lights, so the next thing I need is a material that will allow the light to pass through while diffusing it somewhat. I'm starting with an experiment where I just drench this little plastic Christmas ornament in hot glue to form an irregular sphere. Once it's cooled for a bit, I peel the hot glue off and I've got my sphere that I can put over the lights. I was pretty happy with how the experiment went, so I decided to make a bunch more of these spheres. The tricky thing was to form a complete dome that would have a minimum of gaps in it. A few gaps here and there didn't really bother me, but the fewer the better to keep the light diffused. I'm envisioning small mounds that have a kind of glowing egg sac at the top of them, so there shouldn't be too many holes. Once I've got the ornament covered, I'm leaving them to cool by attaching this alligator clip to them and sticking that into a piece of foam I've got for stuff like this. The hot glue is actually going to drip down a little bit, so it helps to form the spherical shape to let them cool like this. In order to build up the mound part, I'm going to use foam insulation that I'll insert the tea light into. I measured out the height of the tea light and then cut some foam pieces in that same height. I'm being rough with my measurements because I want a little bit of irregularity in the size and shape of the mounds. Plus, ultimately all of this will be covered in texture paste anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Next, I'm cutting a hole out of the foam so that I can mount the light inside and still have access to the battery compartment in case I ever need to change the batteries. I'm going to use more hot glue to join the light to the foam, but I'm using the clear hot glue that I have a lot more of. Once that cools down a bit, I'm going to trim all of the foam down to form rocky mounds. So I'm cutting the corners down to start and then just kind of feeling it out. I'm trying to make my cuts angling down as gradually as possible, plus every so often I'm cutting some little gouges into it. With stuff like this where you want an organic shape, it's really easy to accidentally overthink it and end up with like way too much regularity, so I just kind of go until it looks kind of right. Our little hot glue popsicles are ready now. Peeling them off the ornaments is kind of a pain. It helps to grab them when they're still slightly hot. Either way it's a pain, and I'm glad I hadn't just trimmed my fingernails because those helped quite a bit. I'm using the last of my blue hot glue to attach the domes directly to the light. I'm trying to make sure to fully join them and cover all the gaps. The spheres are a little irregular, so I have to build up quite a bit in some places. Whenever you're building terrain, it's handy to build like a whole lot of them all at once so that you keep things more or less uniform, at least in terms of the paint job and the general shapes and such. So I decided at this point to make 4 more for a total of 8 domes. Next, I'm making my usual texture paste. The recipe I use is just sand, Mod Podge, and a bit of paint. In this case, black and brown craft paint. I very much just feel out the measurements and add more Mod Podge if it needs to be a little thinner, and more sand if it's not thick enough. I'm slathering the paste all over the build, doing my best to avoid the hot glue. I'm trying not to let it pool anywhere, and I'm being sure to rub it into the cuts that I made in the mounds earlier. Sometimes I'll bust out an old brush to use for this, but this time around the trowel worked well enough. Once the paste is dried fully, I'm going back over everything, including the bottom of the foam, with black paint and Mod Podge. This mix isn't really that important to have a particular consistency or measurement, it's just adding a bit more coating to the build to give it some protection. So don't overthink how much black paint you're adding to the Mod Podge. I'm kind of getting back to basics with this project, so I'm not going to bust out the airbrush here. Dry brushing is actually a great technique for stuff like this anyway. I'm dry brushing a dark brown very heavily across the dirt mounds to start. I'm just loading the brush up with the paint and then wiping a good amount of it off, then just brushing heavily on the dirt mounds so that all of the raised areas get painted while leaving black in the deepest recesses. The next dry brush is going to be a lighter reddish brown, and I'm dry brushing even less of the mound. The idea is to build up the brighter colors while leaving the earlier layers still visible. Once I have those dry brush layers done, I'm going to try to do some sort of alien algal colonies. For this, I'm taking a really messed up old brush and poking little specks of orange on some of the raised areas around the egg sac. My idea here is that the egg sac is going to be giving off light and heat, so that should be attracting some of the alien life to it, so it would make sense that like microbial life would start forming colonies near it. Once the orange is done, I'll start poking dots of yellow here and there throughout to make the algal colonies more colorful. Maybe there are competing forms of microbial life duking it out for control of the space around the egg sac. Okay, I'm mostly trying to keep this project pretty cheap, but I kinda splurged a little bit on a couple of exciting little things. I've always wanted to use some like more alien grass tufts, so I've got this alien pink grass tuft, so I'm going to use that. And then I was just walking by these alien fly traps, and they just look really cool, and so I couldn't help myself. I had to give those a shot. For the grass tufts, I'm just adding a drop of super glue to the bottom of the tuft and then jamming it in place, and I'm using 2 or 3 on each mound. Grass tufts generally come with some adhesive on the bottom of them already, but I always add a little bit more super glue just to be on the safe side. The alien fly traps were a little fiddly, but a lot more sturdy than I expected. Basically, I had to pop the fly trap out of the sheet, then hold onto it with the tweezers while I bent it into the shape that I wanted. There are plenty of ways to approach this. I basically held the center while I bent each leaf into place. I was also trying to bend the trigger hairs a little bit inward so they didn't look so flat. Then each stem that holds a trap I would push towards the others so that it looks nice and bushy. Once the fly trap is formed into the shape I want, I'm adding a drop of super glue to the bottom, and then using the tweezers to hold the fly trap in place on the mounds as I place them. I'm trying to place them near the grass tufts, and then I even came back in later on and added more grass tufts over the top of the fly traps that weren't placed near one. I'm really enjoying the contrast between the pinks and reds of the foliage and the blue of the egg sacs. I think I'll probably keep this color scheme going throughout the rest of the terrain board. It even matches my Tyranids from Hive Fleet Behemoth, which is kinda why I went with this color scheme in the first place. And with that, we're already done. That was a nice quick weekend project that didn't take too long and even cost less than the price of a pizza these days. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. I've got a bunch more content like this on the way. Lots more terrain tutorials, as well as more Wall of Shame videos. If you haven't watched any of those yet, it's kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000 crossed with a 4-hour painting challenge. And with that, I guess I'll just leave you with some nice glamour shots of the project. Enjoy, and thanks for watching.